Welcome to my channel. In this video I will show you how to take off from Dubai International Airport, climb to 2000 feet and then come back and land. I will do the entire flight manually, which means I will not use the autopilot. However, I will use the instruments as a guide to help me land the aircraft safely. I will use this beautiful aircraft. It's the PA28 from Piper aircraft company. This is version 161, which is the Piper Warrior 2. It was made during the 70s. These aircrafts are very famous because they have been used for training pilots. They are not very easy to fly compared to other simpler aircrafts like the Cessnas 152, 172. And they are designed to be a reference in flying small aircraft so that they train pilots using those aircrafts. I'm now inside the aircraft and it's about to get dark here in Dubai International Airport. So let's turn on the aircraft and start flying. As you can see, the aircraft is in a state they refer to as cold and dark. Aircraft is completely cold, so it needs to be turned on and also to be warmed up so that it can fly properly. Yeah, so to run this aircraft, let me first, this is in fact a tablet here. It's used to control the application inside the aircraft. So I will just remove these checks, and then I don't think I need this this tablet anymore, so I'll just turn it off. Now to turn or to run this aircraft, first I need to supply the engine with gas. So I will just turn on the supply, or I open the supply for fuel to the fuel pump. Now after that, I will turn on the power so that I connect the battery to the electronics. As you can see here, I have two fuel tanks. This is the right one in the right wing. This is the left one in the left wing, and they are both full. So for the sake of this flight, because it is short, it's a part of our procedures, so I will remove some of the fuel so that I can fly lighter. All right, as you can see here, I have now a little bit of gas in each fuel tank. Now to run the aircraft, first I will supply this, what is referred to as the mixture. So I need to put it to the maximum. This is in fact what supplies fuel to the engine. And even during flying, you can take it to the maximum, or you can reduce it a little bit in order to have a mix between the amount of oxygen versus fuel that goes inside the engine. But for the takeoff, just running the engine, I need just to put it to the maximum. Now inside the engine, there will be a fuel pump, which is referred to as a mechanical fuel pump. But because the engine is off now, if I try to run it, it won't run because the mechanical pump will not have enough torque or enough speed to pump gas while the engine is starting. So this is why we turn on an electrical pump. But before we run the engines, it's a kind of a rule here. Let's turn on a little bit of lights in the aircraft, and also we turn on the landing light here, and so that some light outside the aircraft shows that this aircraft is now becoming active. This is another light here. So okay, normally you don't run so many lights, or you avoid using a lot of electricity because you need to consume the amount of power, like in a car, to power on the engine. So now let's turn on the fuel pump. And as you can see, the fuel pressure has increased. I put the throttle a little, around 25 to 50%, and I run the engine. And as you can see, the engine is running. Now if I turn off the fuel pump, okay, the fuel pressure, of course, you notice it will be slightly variable with the RPM, but it will be sufficient. But for the sake of taking off, as you always want the maximum reliability, you keep the fuel pump on. This will turn on the magneto, which means the power generator that generates power from the engine and charges the battery. So this is very important. You notice here it's on, giving you an error. So once I turn it on, the warning light will go. Great. So I'll turn on the taxi light. No need for this heating, and yeah, now I think the engine is warming up. I will turn on here the avionics, which are the navigation systems inside the aircraft. And also I turn on this here to indicate that the aircraft will start to transmit to ATC that the aircraft is active, and it transmits its location. Now, as you can see here,
system test okay.
Yeah, that's nice. I will set, even though I have a GPS here, but as we mentioned, I will not use the GPS or the autopilot. I have an autopilot here. I'm gonna turn it off, of course. And I need to do some checks, in fact, but let me first put the procedure of our flight today. So I will depart from Dubai International Airport, and I will use an approach to land, which is using ILS 12L. Now, why I'm selecting this? Because I will use the instrument, which is the approach, only for me to guide me in landing. And I will go to this point or close to this point. I don't need to go that much far away. So the flight will be, I will take off from runway 30R, go straight here, turn and come back and land. When I come back to land, the runway will be 12L, because I take off from here 30 at 180 degrees, then it will be 120 degrees, because always you round to the 180. So this runway actually is 120 degrees from the magnetic campus. And I will use this frequency, which is, after I activate it, the frequency of the from the tower that will guide me through the landing is 110.1. This is documented on the chart of the approach of Dubai International Airport. Now, I will do two things here. First, to make sure, you notice here there is a very big issue that the elevator trim is completely pointed down. This is very important to check before flying. I will adjust it to be neutral. Otherwise, the nose down completely will not enable the aircraft to fly. So I will need to turn it until it becomes in the middle. And this is used while flying to trim the aircraft so that the aircraft will fly just straight. And now it is neutral. As you see, there is not like precision, because when you are flying, if the aircraft is going down, you wanted to stabilize it, you can just take the nose up, and of course the opposite is true. Now this is regarding the vertical, and this is the trimming for the horizontal. And as you see also here, it is not in the center. So this is to do the rolling, which is the roll right or left trimming. So if it stays the same, then it will, when it's flying, it will always go to one side. So you need always to correct it. So now both of them are centered, and this is important for the aircraft to just fly straight. Okay, now now one important aspect here, this is our main HSI, it's called, which is horizontal situation indicator. So this will give me, based on the navigation I put in here, it will guide me when I will land. It will give me a gliding slope indicator. And this is what pilots actually use to land aircrafts manually. Now, because when I come back, I will land using 120 or 12. So this will be this side here. So I will return this. I will turn this to point it to the destination that I will use, which is this. Okay, now it's in the opposite direction, but of course when I fly, because this is a short flight, I don't have that much of time. Normally you do those when you are approaching to land. Now in this aircraft also there is another indicator, which is this one here, and also if you want, it's already adjusted here to 120, because this one as well, I think it will work when I come back here, map, and then I select, instead of GPS, when I select the vertical localizer. Now as you see here, this needle, if I'm completely aligned with the runway, it will be straight. If it goes to the left, this means I am to the right, and if it goes to the right, this means I am to the left. And exactly here the same thing it will show me. So when this line here comes completely aligned, this means I'm completely aligned with the airport when I want to come and land. So this is what's used in the navigation a while back when there was no GPS. People used to navigate using VORs and DMEs. This is something we can talk about in future videos. For now, I think this is okay. So this is the 120. Yeah, this is correct, I guess. All right. Okay. Yeah. All right. So now let's take off and get ourselves to do this flight. Great. It's getting dark, and I think it will be a nice flight to do it using in the evening. Release the handbrake. Then you increase the throttle gradually. My vertical speed now is 1000 feet per minute, and it seems there is a little bit of wind from the left side because the aircraft is drifting to the right, which is fine. So as I mentioned, I will continue to climb until 2000 feet. Turned on the lights inside the aircraft. So as you see in the GPS here, I will go straight. Make a U-turn and come back and land. So we will try to keep our elevation around 2,000 feet. I'm slightly going to the right, so that, but I don't want to deviate too much, so that I will just later on do the proper U-turn. So now I will just go straight here. The wind is drifting us to the right. Okay, but now we are completely aligned because the direction of the runway is 30. Now I want you to pay attention to those two lines, because now I'm using the localizer, which is designed for landing. So if I'm coming to land, you see those two lines when they are aligned in the middle here, so this means I'm on the right gliding slope. I think it is enough. I'm gonna make a U-turn now. So as you can see now, the airport is in front of us. And if we look at the indicator, we can see that we are to the left of the runway, which is obvious because we can see it. And we are below the gliding slope. So this is why I will not descend now. I will try to keep our elevation until those two dots become aligned with the aircraft. And I'm going right so that I can, but I don't do too much. And then you notice now when I start to align with the runway, this line to the right, it will come and become in the center. And it comes fast normally once you align. What's happening with this light? Yeah, so now you notice how they bar, and then you can easily cross it so that you go to the other side. And my elevation now is good. So you see, this is why when they want to land aircraft, they try to come from a little bit far distance so that they get the time, the proper time to. So as you can see now, I became higher than the gliding slope. This is why I reduce power. And I am descending. So it looks simple, but in fact, it's not very easy in a real aircraft, especially. And in this aircraft, we are, it's very well simulated, so it's not easy, it's not like a toy. You have to maintain the descent, because when you are descending, you are gaining speed, and then you'll make sure to lower the speed and keep your elevation right. And if you reduce the speed too much, you tend to stall. Now my speed is very high, so I will lower the flaps. And when I lower the flaps, I get more drag. So you notice now how I can immediately shift to be slightly higher than the gliding slope. So now I'm doing well in terms of slope, but I'm more to the right now. So I need to go to the left a little bit to align with the runway. Okay. So now good, I'm aligned with the runway. And my speed is okay. Now I'm slightly higher. So normally coming slightly higher is better than coming lower, obviously, because this is a very long runway. very strong wind. So normally we don't land at the beginning of the runway. We land after those lights. So yeah, not a perfect landing, but we made it. So you notice how controlling the aircraft manually is not very easy. Now, and this aircraft in specific, because it's a study level and it's supposed to be simulated the right way, it is one of the hardest aircraft to land. Yeah, this is your phone rings when you are just landing. Yeah. Oh, there is an aircraft here. Dubai airport is always very busy. Let's wait. Okay, so I'll just go here, park, and turn off the engine, and I will see you in the upcoming next to this Emirates aircraft. So I hope you enjoyed this flight. Okay, put the handbrake. Now you turn off the engine. This is not a turbo engine, so you can just cut the power and the engine will go off. You turn off in the same order. This is the avionics switch. And we turn off magneto, and this will turn off now the battery and everything. Thanks for watching.